So this week we're talking about, like I said, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, created by Maxwell Adams, which is not his real name. It's like Adam something.
His real name is Adam Burton, but literally everybody on the face of the planet calls him Maxwell Adams, so that his real name will not help you locate him any better.
It's Adam spelled with like the molecule.
Yeah, because he's super rad.
Yeah, he spells like the O is a Adam.
Yeah, he does actually.
So this show, the history is not like super complicated, but its broadcast history is complicated enough where it's hard to tell what fucking season you're watching. Mm-hmm. Because the show started as half of a half-hour block called Grim and Evil.
And before that, it was a...
That's right.
It was voted on.
Oh yeah, Cartoon Network's Big Pick. I remember that.
Yeah, Cartoon Network's Big Pick. It was held from June 16th to August 25th of 2000. And the three choices were this show, Whatever Happened to Robot Jones, and Long Hair and Double Dome.
Oh shit! Blast from the past. I forgot all about Long Hair and Double Dome. I'm gonna look them up right the fuck now.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
it's Cavemen.
Yeah, I mean, it also
Billy and Mandy won by a pretty wide margin with 57% of the votes, and it began airing in August 24th, 2001.
Yeah, the pilot was originally on Cartoon Network's pilot animation showcase. Oh yeah, it wasn't Oh Yeah Cartoons. That was Nickelodeon. Was it just cartoons?
Yeah, it was cartoons, but I think the show
What a
Cartoon.
What a Cartoon.
I don't think it aired on What a Cartoon Show. Other stuff did. I don't think.
I looked this.
Oh really?
No, I looked it up. It was on What a Cartoon Show.
I don't recall.
Which, just looking at the wiki right now, a lot of CN cartoons started there. Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Powerpuff Girls, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Mike, Lou and Og, Sheep in the Big City, Whatever Happened to Robot Jones, Codename Kids Next Door, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Mega's XLR, and a short that later evolved into Family Guy.
Oh yeah, that one show. That short is actually really freaking solid. I like that one, and you can definitely tell it's Family Guy because he's just doing the Peter Griffin voice.
It's still the Peter and Brian voices.
Yeah,
he's only got the three,
and he also even has the references that children just would not fucking get. And the way I super dig it. Every couple years I'll remember it and go back and watch it. I like it.
Yeah. So actually, this show produced a lot more finalized shows than Nickelodeon's answer. Oh yeah, cartoons, which I looked up as well. Only gave us Fairly Odd Parents, Chalk Zone, and My Life as a Teenage Robot.
All super solid, but yeah.
It just, in terms of volume.
Mm-hmm. Basically, it's not like Frederator stuff. Was Odd Parents Frederator? I don't think so.
I believe so. I remember the Frederator. I remember the Frederator thing at the end of, because I remember
so it's basically just Frederator stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good old Frederator making good stuff.
So after it was greenlit, it first started off as a half-hour block called Grim and Evil, which constituted, the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and Evil Con Carne, a show about a mad scientist who. His body was completely destroyed. All that was left was the brain that they put on the head of a circus bear.
And his stomach.
And his stomach, that's right.
Yeah. Which was somehow also able to speak. And all it did was want food. Yeah. I fucking love Evil Con Carne.
What was the bear's name?
Bosco.
Bosco. He was so cute.
Yeah, so there was one season of Grim and Evil, and then they split off to their own shows. Evil Con Carne as a standalone got only one season, right?
No, it got two. Because I remember the second season got a different visual style, and it's actually looked a lot better, but it didn't. Yeah, it was canceled after that.
Yeah. And then
it says the short-lived Evil Con Carne show was canceled once the already produced season had aired.
Ah.
And then, of course, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which went on to have. I'm trying to think if it was 6 or 7 seasons.
7 seasons, 3 TV movies, and a special.
Actually, Grim and Evil was from 2001 to 2003, because that's when the show split, which is in 2003.
Yeah, but it was still one season. Yeah. They were really whack about seasons back then. Like, if you want to look up the SpongeBob seasons. Seasons 1 through 3, production seasons, were all aired concurrently. The broadcast season, I used to think Futurama was fucked up. I don't know anything that's more fucked up than SpongeBob.
Yeah.
There might be something more fucked up, but it's insane how scattershot the broadcast seasons were compared to the production seasons. I mean, SpongeBob there were no broadcast seasons. They just put episodes out every couple of months.
They basically still do that from what I know of Nickelodeon.
Pretty much. They're like, is there a SpongeBob done? Put it on the TV and let's make a big deal about it, even though it's just a new episode. It's not like
let's fill up 1/3 of the bottom half of the screen with a commercial.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so it was 6 seasons of Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and then the original season when it was Grim and Evil, for a total of effectively 7 seasons.
Yeah, and it had 139 segments.
Which Wiki says is inconsistent, so
whatever.
I'm not going to get into that.
Who cares? It was a lot of show.
Yeah, this show got its due. It got the run it deserved. 6 seasons, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah. 6
and it never
seasons
really...
in a movie.
Yeah,
fucking 3 movies.
Wore itself out. Right, so this show is about 2 fucking kids, the titular Billy and Mandy, voiced by Richard Stephen Horvitz and Greta Lyle, respectively. This is one of Greta Lyle's first, not her definite first, but one of her first big roles, right? Because at the same time, she was also doing Vicky on Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she was the queen of the previous decade.
Pretty much.
Well, her and Tara Strong, obviously.
Oh,
yeah, those two. Fucking watch the Queens Conquer.
This show was only the 14th cartoon.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. To fall under the label of cartoons.
Which they've abandoned that label, but they still do the musical thing, the dump, 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 dump.
They haven't abandoned it because all the shows, like Adventure Time and Steven, they had to make their little cartoon thing where there's a little black and white rough thing going on in between the Cartoon Network and then it squishes. Like, they had to do that, even though they never air it. But I guess it's just like a formality or something.
Like, that's not the cartoon thing. Like, the cartoon thing was it wouldn't say Cartoon Network, it would say cartoon, and the main character's head would pop out of one of the O's and be like, cartoons.
Oh.
That is just a Cartoon Network studio thing that they do. What you're talking about.
Yeah, they still do the musicals. I've seen that Adventure Time thing that you were talking about like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
They still do the musical sting, but they cut out the part at the end where the character would say cartoon. So that even if that brand still exists, they don't market them that way. I guess they just let them work on their own. Because it was also, it was a rival to the Nicktoons brand.
Yeah, the last cartoon was actually Evil Con Carne, according to the list.
The end of an era.
Greta Lyle, I mean, we don't have to say who she's voiced. It's 100,000 characters.
Everybody you love that isn't voiced by Tara Strong.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty much. Azula, that was a big one.
That was the other, really, really big one. Billy is voiced by Richard Stephen Horvitz, otherwise most famous for Zim in Invader Zim, and he was Raz in Psychonauts.
He was also Alpha 5 on the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I don't know shit about Power Rangers.
He was the little robot that went, ay, Zordon!
He was also the alien commander in Destroy All Humans.
Yeah, just doing the Zim voice. Because the guys were like, oh, we like Zim, do the Zim voice.
Do the only voice, do your, like, that's, I always find it weird that, like, and I guess this is the first little thing about Billy and Mandy we'll get into, that, like, because Richard Horvitz also voices Billy's dad, and obviously it's just, like, a deeper Billy's voice, and so it sounds more adult. But if you listen to this grown adult man just talk normally, he honestly sounds way more like Billy.
Yeah,
so,
his voice is very strange.
I loved his voice.
Yeah, he was in that John DiMaggio voice acting documentary, I Know That Voice.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm just hearing him talk. It didn't even, like, before the thing at the bottom said what he was, it's like, oh, fuck, it's Zim. That's his regular voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, he was also Daggett in the Angry Beavers. Oh, God, I love the Angry Beavers. We should talk about the Angry fucking Beavers.
I haven't seen Angry Beaver since it was on the air, so I guess...
it's been, like,
it's 21 years ago.
Guys, it's so... Like, the dialogue is what I love the most about it. It's so weird the way they talk to each other. I don't even know, but yeah.
I remember liking that, and I remember people talking about how it was one of the smarter Nickelodeon shows at the time.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
That and Rocko's Modern Life are kind of like the 2 smart shows.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. But Rocko is also weird.
Yeah,
Beavers wasn't as weird, right?
Beavers could get weird, yeah, but not in the weird that you're talking about.
When
was
I was
weird,
a kid, I liked Rocco more because I guess kids really like surreal shit because it's more like how their brains work. Like, I was very young when those two shows were airing back to back.
Well, I mean, oddly enough, like, Rocco was successful for the same reason Ren and Stimpy was successful, because, like, college kids liked it and stuff. Like, that's what Nickelodeon was going for. They were like, hey, Ren and Stimpy was super big with this demographic. We want another show for this. And then later on they were like, oh, wait, marketing children's cartoons on a children's cartoon network to adults, not the best idea in terms of our advertisers, so we're gonna stop doing that.
Yep.
Rocco went down smoother than Ren and Stimpy. I was actually thinking about this earlier. It was a very similar school of weirdness, but it wasn't as aggressively weird as Ren.
I always liked it better.
I don't like Ren and Stimpy that much.
I don't really like it that much.
Yeah, none of us
I'm
do.
really sorry,
I mean, I haven't watched it in a
everybody.
long time, but I remember as a kid watching it and hating it.
I remember liking it a little bit. Like, I remember we watched it at our grandfather's house.
I remember that too, and I was
we got
so
to
embarrassed
see the
the whole
Happy
time.
Happy Joy Joy episode. That was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Remember the song?
The song is fun,
Yeah,
but
seen-
Ren, like, horrifyingly beating himself in the skull trying to get the helmet off. Not...
See, I don't remember any of that. I just remember the nice song.
Yeah.
I mean, we know the song because, I mean, I've seen Random Encounter like 12 times. You've seen them at least 4. They always play that song at their live shows.
I really remembered that song from watching it at our grandfather's house.
Okay, but do you remember the part where the dude singing it just suddenly goes, "I told you I'd shoot, but you didn't believe me. Why didn't you believe me?" That's a lyric in that song.
I remember there was yelling. And it was
I know
kinda
that it's
scary.
in there. I know that it's in there because Random Encounter does it when they cover the song.
Yeah. So Billy and
Anyway,
Mandy.
Billy and Mandy. Grimm is voiced by Greg Eagles.
Yeah, Grim, or the other main character, is the Grim Reaper. He's a skeleton guy in a black hood and a Jamaican accent. That's not like super thick. It's not like laying it on too much, but it's there.
Yeah.
I remember thinking
And-
that was super cool as a kid. I was like, huh.
Well, yeah,
That's
because
interesting.
people auditioning kept doing like swarthy, like deep British voices and whatnot, and that stuff, just cliche stuff. And then Greg Gillis just came in like, "Why don't I try this way?" And they loved the shit out of it. He also voices Spurg.
The bully?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sounded familiar. I guess I didn't make the connection.
Yeah, but I guess honestly, his any other voice. I mean, he's Greg Eagles is in stuff, but he's not as big as Gray or Richard Horvitz. The only thing I know that people would know him from, he's the original Metal Gear Solid voice of Gray Fox.
He was in Afro Samurai.
Oh yeah,
And he was in Killer 7, a game nobody played.
I didn't.
He was in Fallout 2. People played that one.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a major character. I've never played Fallout. Anyway. Okay, so the reason why the embodiment of death hangs out with these two fucking kids...
And they are
is because
the worst children.
Is because in the first episode... I should have rewatched the first episode. I know he loses a limbo match to him, and he bet his allegiance, or... He's basically Mandy's slave.
Billy's guinea pig died, and then he was like, "Oh no, my guinea pig!" And I guess they summoned the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper was going to come and take his life, or they like summoned him to.
No, okay, so,
the
dude,
life
here's what
back,
goes down, because let me tell you something. I have encyclopedic knowledge of this damn cartoon, so may I take the floor?
Okay.
We'll
Yes,
we'll
please.
default to you.
What happened to the guinea pig? How did
Billy, I'm pretty sure it was Billy's hamster, Mr. Snuggles, was like 13, was like
Hamsters.
way too fucking old, and so he just comes for it because that's his job. And then, and so they challenge, and so they challenge him, or I haven't seen. I should have at least watched the very first pilot, but like, yeah, he says, "I'll be your." It's like okay, here are the terms. You can keep the hamster, and I'll be your best friend forever if you can beat me in a limbo contest. And he's a skeleton with like ultimate posability, so obviously he's gonna win. But then Mr. Snuggles in a real Chekhov's gun moment, because earlier in the thing, Billy shows off Mr. Snuggles' trick, like, "Mr. Snuggles, kiss, kiss," and he becomes a rabbit and like... So then Mandy, realizing they're about to lose the wager, goes, "Mr. Snuggles, kiss, kiss." And then, so the hamster attacks the fuck out of Grimm and he loses. And now he's their best friend forever.
forever? Yeah, it was really because Mandy is such an evil demon child. That
Yeah, Mandy is literally the most evil
being.
being on the planet.
Yeah. Her little hair bob. It's like, That's why they're like horns.
Yes. Symbolism.
And this show, I feel, is more than anything else the show that embodies the style of the previous decade of the aughties, which I guess is what we have to call it because we got nothing better.
Yep.
Man.
The show is... The visual style is very indicative of that era. It's, thick outlines, basic shapes, not too far away from, like, the visual style of Fairly Odd Parents, which I think would probably be the second best embodiment of the era.
Yeah.
And it's dominated by, characters who are both mean to each other, like really shitty to each other, and also very annoying.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gross.
And it's fucking gross.
Billy's nose falls off, like, all the time.
There was an episode about Billy's nose falling, about them losing Billy's nose.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It was one of the later season ones.
Where it's like this modern era of cartoons, which, as we've discussed before, started as early back as Chowder, but is defined by Adventure Time, is a lot more generally good-natured in its storytelling and its character interaction. The cartoons of the previous era were a lot more mean-spirited, I suppose you could say. And
it's a bunch of chill CalArts grads just being like, "Let's all be nice."
Yeah.
Yeah.
For an adult TV show comparison, I guess it'd be like the difference between like The Office and Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Parks and Rec season, or you could say Parks and Rec season 1 versus season every other season.
Yeah.
Because Parks and Rec season 1 was just The Office.
Because The Office was the aughties.
Setting.
That we just liked being mean to. We just hated everything and ourselves in that time. So it was just.
It was post 9/11, man.
Yeah.
It fucked us up real bad.
Yep.
I guess, yeah.
And then we slowly started to heal it and make things that were nice.
Or maybe deep down inside that we, like, 9/11 might have been coincidence, and really deep down inside we were just really bummed that the world didn't end into the year 2000, and we were like, fuck, now what do we do? We blew our load on hope and peace and whatever, and we all thought that was down the toilet, so now we're just left feeling pretty shitty, because we all kind of like, this feels like the world's about to end, whatever, so now we're left with this world that we wanted to end. And it took us a decade to get over it.
And then we almost did it again, but then...
But yeah, we were... By that time, we were like, this just happened. Can we wait at least another century before people start claiming this again?
All right, so some other characters we got. We've got Billy's closest friend. I was going to say best friend, but no, that he thinks that's Grimm. Mm-hmm. His best mutual friend would be Irwin, voiced by Vanessa Marshall, who actually evolved in an interesting way.
Irwin! That's all I remember, is the way that he used to say his name.
He evolved in an interesting way over the course of the show. In the beginning, he was just, the nerd character. Whereas they started later writing him as... Irwin is black, but they started writing him as a character who's like one of those fucking white boys who just discovered hip-hop and is trying to get into it. And is trying to be part of that culture despite the fact that he has no place in it.
Yeah, and he says, like, yo all the time.
Yeah, that's his catchphrase is yo.
Yeah, like, he punctuates the end of, like, every sentence with yo. I think it was really interesting that they applied that kind of, like, white boy stereotype to a black character.
He's basically Fat Urkel.
Yeah. He's kind of like an Urkel for that era.
Urkelian.
Actually, in a Underfist, when Haas Delgado can't remember his name and he keeps calling him different names, one of the names he calls him is Urkel.
Good.
Yeah, I just watched Underfist, which I guess we'll get to. Irwin, it turns out later in the show, is half mummy and half vampire. His grandfather is Dracula, the best character in the show.
Yes.
And
remember.
You don't remember Dracula?
No.
Like,
Dracula don't suck. Dracula scrape and lick.
Oh.
Dracula don't suck. Yeah, he talks like a
Blackula?
blaxploitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Blackula, but he calls himself Dracula. He's a blaxploitation character, and he's great. And like, I just watched this one today. It's one of my favorite episodes. I just remembered was Fear and Loathing in Ennsville, where it's great because it's a bunch of Dracula, And there's also this like Johnny Cash inspired song during all these traveling montages where the singer compares everything to an angry woman.
Like an angry
was
woman.
dry like an angry woman, and the sun was hot like an angry woman.
And then they fucking get picked up by some random trucker voiced by Louis Anderson, and he's super creepy.
Oh, that was Louis Anderson, who makes arts and crafts out of fingernails.
Yes.
There's like they broke the speed limit like an angry woman and caused a lot of property damage like an angry woman.
Oh my goodness, yeah, this is definitely a show that I should have rewatched because there's a lot of references to things that I didn't get as a kid.
Yeah, and so this is a show that we are. Tooch obviously knows everything about this show. Nina and I both watched it as a kid, but didn't get to revisit it as much in preparation for this as we would have liked. I watched some stuff today. Nina has midterms. Get off her back.
Sorry.
But like Teen Titans, this is a show that if people want us to, we'll come back to. In fact, Tooch and I have a mutual friend, Martin, it's his favorite show, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'd always watched it and loved it, but he sort of, like, indoctrinated me into this, like, this is actually this is my favorite show now, basically, thanks to him.
Yeah.
Top tier, if not fave.
And I'm sure there's a lot of it I never watched on the original run. Like, I don't know if I've seen all those movies.
Like, I watched Underfist today. I'd never seen that before. Getting Martin on here might be hard to schedule because he's in the UK and is 5 hours ahead of the rest of us. But, well, if people want us to revisit this show, we might do it.
Yeah, totes.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about this show more. I'd love to dig into it more than we can now. But we're going to do the best job we can. It's not like we're going to quit because we didn't prepare. That has never stopped us before.
Never.
Right?
It hasn't stopped us most of the time.
Nope.
Okay. So, some other characters in the shoe really... Dracula's voiced by Phil Lamar.
Billy's parents.
Yeah,
Billy's parents... Billy's parents are really, really great. Harold and Gladys voiced, again, like we said, Richard Stephen Horvitz and Jennifer Hale, respectively. Jennifer Hale, or Gladys, could do a lot better in every regard.
Oh, as a mom?
No, as a wife.
Oh.
As a human.
I remember her just being very, like high-strung, like...
Yeah.
Like, I just have this image of her, like, talking through her teeth a lot.
Yeah, she did that a lot. Because Harold is basically adult... Like, Billy is one of the stupidest characters to ever be in a cartoon. He's up there with, like, Patrick Star and Cosmo and everything.
It's appalling.
That was another thing. That was another thing that was big this time.
I'm like, okay, you've crossed the stupid funny to you're just so stupid.
This was another thing that was big in the previous decade, is that characters were just so impossibly fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the three I mentioned, I think, were the big ones.
He could be cute sometimes, though.
Oh, yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, so Harold is basically Billy as an adult. Slightly less dumb, but...
I feel like it's not so much he's just as dumb, but he's been around long enough to glean how to get by on being that dumb. Like most adults.
He's gotten into a groove.
Yeah.
He's gotten into a groove that makes him work.
He's competent enough not to, like, get himself killed.
I feel like that's what happens when you become an adult. You suddenly realize, oh, wait a minute. No one's actually smarter than me. They're just better at pretending they are. Okay, I can do this. All right, I'm good.
Apparently, he was accepted into Harvard and was a former Navy SEAL. Also, he's afraid of Santa Claus.
Santa Claus was a villain in was that one of the specials, or was that?
Well, yeah, Santa Claus was scary in this universe.
Well, not really. It was he got turned into a vampire against his will.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yep, that special I remember very clearly.
Yeah, Mrs. Claus was the head vampire. Mrs. Claus was the secret big bad final boss.
And Malcolm McDowell was the head vampire.
Yeah, and Santa Claus was voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. That was just a great Christmas special all around. And for some reason, the fucking ending credits to that Christmas special were fucking Round and Round by Rat, with two T's at the end of it. That fucking song. That was what played during the
God.
credits, and to this day I don't know why. And if I
real.
ever meet
That
Maxwell
was real. I
Adams, that's what I'm
remember that.
going to ask him.
But like I remember one episode where like they were doing Hellraiser. There was a Rubik's cube that summoned demons, and Harold was able to solve it just by peeling off the stickers and putting them back on. So the puzzle looked solved.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
And then Gladys, she really hates Grimm. That's kind of her deal. That she's just like constantly making Grimm's life even more miserable than it already is at this point. Because Grimm's kind of living with Billy, kind of.
More than Mandy, yeah. Stays at Billy's house.
Yeah.
So Gladys has to deal with it. And apparently she wants Billy to grow up to be a chiropractor, but knows it's not really probably going to happen.
I like how she's like, I want him to be like almost a doctor, but I know the limit. Like even my greatest aspiration is like quarter of a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always got a facial tic, and she's always having some kind of breakdown, and she's just like very unpleasant. Like her life is kind of the worst ever.
But not as worst as Mandy's parents, who live in constant terror of her.
Yep.
Because she is the devil.
It's canon because they said so, that when she was a child, that when she was a baby, wolves came to their house and tried to claim her as their own and raise her.
Yeah, that was the first episode with Fred Berger.
Yeah, that was Keeper of the Reaper, one of the most well known episodes.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it
that
was really
one.
good. Yeah,
Or I remember the song. Where
Yep.
are the pages from Mandy's parents?
I mean, they were only in like a handful of episodes because they legitimately like the
Phil and
reason.
Claire.
Yeah, the reason they're not around much is because they're so afraid of her. It's why they're never around.
Yeah, Phil's voiced
voiced
by
by-
Dee Bradley Baker, and Claire's voiced by Vanessa Marshall.
we've also mentioned like the bully Spurg, who is voiced by Greg Eagles, who I actually not remembering him that much. I mean,
I remember
Yeah,
he
he-
did wedgies a lot, and it was gross.
He wasn't like he didn't get much development. He was again another staple of that era, the bully character who like is a bully, but he's so comedic and like obviously he has like a sensitive side secretly or whatever.
Yeah, apparently
he was that character.
Apparently he dreams of moving to New York City and having a career on Broadway when he grows up.
Yeah, because
there's
there's
the bully from Fairly Odd Parents, because that guy was hilarious.
I believe his name was Terrence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that whole character archetype is well known in Naughty's tunes, aughties tunes.
And we also got Mandy's rival Mindy, voiced by Rachel McFarlane, who's on American Dad because she's Seth MacFarlane's sister. She's done some other stuff. They hate each other. She's like your again archetypes.
She's the mean girl,
rich, yeah, the queen bee type thing.
Princess
she
Starbucks.
she got more. She did get more screen time than Spurg by comparison. They didn't develop her character at all, but just from the amount of screen time that she got, she was just by that a more developed character. She was one of my favorite reoccurring minor characters, just because I don't know they never ever played her seriously, like not an ounce of serious. Anytime she showed up, it was a shit show, and it was great because like she takes nothing about her, what she stands for, is taken seriously, but she takes it 100% seriously. So she just shows up. All the characters basically silently laugh at her. The audience laughs at her. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, compared to the closest analogy we got in the modern era, which is Pacifica Northwest and the Gulf War episode, where we did show a sympathetic side to her. They didn't bother with that.
No.
Yeah,
There's no sympathy in this show.
Nope.
Yeah, the only real sympathy.
And she was the principal villain of Underfist.
Oh yeah, Underfist, because Underfist was later, and then I only watched it when it premiered. I don't actually remember that, but yeah, in terms of sympathy, the only real sympathy we ever get is just sort of like the like is Grimm's eventual acceptance of his fate and actually cares for the children. Whether or not you could claim, I guess that's almost like Stockholmsy. I don't fucking know enough about the actual disease to be able to say that, because that's one of those things that's thrown around too commonly by people who don't know what it is. But it's in that vein.
Another character who showed up more in later seasons is General Scar, who was absorbed from Evil Con Carne, which it is established take place in the same universe.
Yeah, there's an episode where like the Evil Con Carne cast shows up and tries to get Scar back in the game. It's a whole thing, but yeah.
But primarily, Scar is the only character to be a recurring character from Carne in Evil, right?
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, because he moves into their neighborhood. He's like a retired world dominator guy. Like, he has a whole room full of a giant portrait of him and a whole bunch of different crazy, horrifying weapons, including a hot pants ray gun that just turns whatever pairs of pants you're wearing into uncomfortably tight hot pants.
Yeah, I believe isn't he Billy's neighbor? And doesn't like Billy's
yeah.
antics like make him want to turn back to the evil side because Billy is just so the worst?
Yeah, because Billy eggs him on. It's just like he just calls him up like, "Hello, ultimate power," and then like hangs up. It's just really weird how Billy wants him to be a supervillain again, just because it'd be cool. I don't know. Billy has no motivation. He just does things. He's an agent of chaos.
Yeah.
Because that story, it's like that story works almost in the same way. It's framed the same way the original Lorax story was framed, except for instead of a random kid curiously coming to this house, this pizza guy shows up at a dilapidated house, and like a crazy eyeball in hand comes out of the door and tells him the story that he did not want to hear. He's just trying to deliver a fucking pizza. And but it turns out it's not General Scar. It's his crazy, weird hippie neighbor that like was house watching for like a weekend and turned his house. It was a really great bit at the very end. It's a great cartoon. It's a great show.
Speaking of agents of chaos, there's Eris in this show, who is the goddess of chaos. The Greek deity. She was the one with that apple.
Also Rachel McFarlane. Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah, I remember her very strongly. I don't know.
She was originally like a huge Valley Girl stereotype, but they dropped that. Like they dimmed it down a lot to where it wasn't even like a thing. But then like they made a goof about it later on. It's like this isn't as bad. Like this is almost as bad as when she went through that whole Valley Girl phase. And then it's like I think we'd all like to forget that phase.
The wiki says this. Her accent and behavior are prone to sudden shifts from a stereotypical Valley Girl to a refined British woman, parodying Madonna's change in image over the years.
Oh man, I hope that was intentional.
Me too.
Some other villains we got.
And Billy calls her Apple the Magic Banana. I remember that very distinctly. Because he's so stupid. Because it's yellow.
Magic banana.
Yeah.
And when he gets the power of the magic banana, when he gets the power... Oh, wait, no. That wasn't even the thing. That was... Okay, I'm sorry, but I gotta talk about this really great non-sequitur bit in one of her episodes. It was one of the episodes that they're, like, fighting for control over the Apple of Discord. And just throughout the whole thing, Billy has a burrito that he made Grimm bring to life and speak. There's no reason for it. It's not a Chekhov's gun. It's just there on his shoulder, like just giving his opinion on things as they happen. His talking burrito friend.
I remember this burrito.
And it never appears again.
And whenever he talked, like meat would come out, right?
Yeah, meat would
spit.
Okay,
like
now
refried beans would fall out.
That was what it took.
Oh, so gross. Oh my god.
But yeah, quasi-villain, team up person / hero guy, Hoss Delgado, which is basically an amalgamation of every macho 80s horror action person that ever lived. Fucking, like...
Yeah, he's mostly... Snake Plissken and Ash Williams, mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jose Delgado.
From DC Comics.
Yeah. He was played by Diedrich Bader.
Yeah.
Who is voiced Batman in one of the shows?
Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
Right.
He's in love with Eris, and Eris then falls in love with him.
Yeah, they're on again, off again. It's a thing. It's stupid and funny, like everything on this show.
Yeah, he lives with his mom, 33, like demon hunter, always trying to get rid of Grimm or whatever, and like the combination of Billy's weaponizable stupidity and Mandy's incomparable. What's a good word for this?
What's a good
Evil.
word for Mandy? I don't know. Evil? She always had those interstitial things in the beginning of the episode, like right after the credits rolled, that were just really weird and surreal.
Oh yeah, those little fortune cookie goofs. I love those. Those are great.
It was like pull the lever, yank the chain, all aboard the chocolate train.
No, it was like
really weird one.
Yeah, it was like pull the lever, whatever the chain. Here comes the chocolate choo choo train. I think it might have been a poop joke. I don't know.
I don't know. Christ.
Probably a
But mostly it was
joke.
just her. Yeah, most of it was just her in against a black background saying something that was almost profound, but not. Well, there was one about something about common morality. Fuck it, I can't remember it.
Yeah, there was a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a great example of the sort of general cruelty of the show. Jeff the Spider.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jeff, voiced by Maxwell Adams himself.
Apparently just has, like, the nicest voice.
Yeah, like Jeff sounded so nice, I remember.
Yeah, Bailey found an egg in Grimm's trunk. He incubated it, and it turned into a giant spider. It hatched, then turned. It's not Digimon. It hatched into a giant spider named Jeff, who considered Billy his father, and he's always trying to get Billy to love him. But Billy's terrified of spiders and always tries to kill him.
Yeah.
This is in every episode.
And he's always hitting him with things and screaming and saying, like, the worst things ever.
Is that in Keeper of the Reaper is like, I'll be whatever you want me to be, Dad. I want you to be dead.
I never until you said it outside of the context of the series, because you just become accustomed to that when you're watching the show. Until you said it just now, I didn't realize what a horrible statement that is.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really funny the way that the line was delivered. But
Yeah, because they're
terrible.
trying to perform they're trying to perform like a trial here, and the witness is being beat over the head with a chair while he's being interviewed. That line is it's...
While Jeff is trying to defend Billy's character.
Yeah.
And then there's one episode where Spider Mandy, where the sickness that Billy contracts from Jeff turns Mandy into a huge spider-like creature, and then Jeff sees her and thinks that she's his mommy. But then his fangs were able to cure her. So that's something, I guess.
Oh yeah, that episode was super messed. I don't remember a lot from it, but it was a super gross messed episode. It's great.
Some more villains. We got Nurgle, voiced originally by David Warner and later by Martin Jarvis, based loosely off of the Mesopotamian deity of the same name, serving as our devil, because I guess they wanted to go for a deeper cut.
Yeah, which was cool.
He was
cool.
well for his introductory episode, he was the devil, but after that, like literally his entire thing was he's pathetic and he just wants friends, but he's super bad at being social and not terrifying and evil.
Yeah, like Grimm and Nurgle and Eris and Boogie and Velma and Lord Payne all went to high school together.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was. I think it was middle school in that flashback.
Oh, cute.
So it's even worse.
Yeah, so it could be
Baby Grimm is so cute. But yeah, Nurgle.
and
where
then
he can shapeshift and he creates these
Nurgle is now related to Billy by marriage because he married Billy's Aunt Sis.
Yes.
Yep. And they had a son.
Nurgle Jr., voiced by Debbie Derryberry, who is pretty adorable, actually.
He is cute,
I
but he's
Nurgle-
also scary.
Oh yeah, Nurgle Jr. is one of my favorite. Like if this was more of a Tumblr-esque show, Nurgle Jr. would be everyone's favorite and would get the best slashed
I remember
worst
really
fan art.
liking Nurgle, and he's like, "I'm cold. I don't care. I said, I'm cold."
And like he has the little he has Mr. Bonkers, his teddy bear.
Aw.
Mr. Bonkers! And then Debbie Derryberry voice, because she's also a Jimmy Neutron as her other most well-known role.
Ah.
Yeah, that's right. I knew I remembered her.
But yeah, he has his dad's same problem with making friends, and they think he's a freak. I mean, he is, but like...
It was a riff on The Thing.
Yeah.
He was the Thing. Because he can also shapeshift. That was his whole thing. Like, and anytime he shows up again, usually they need him to shapeshift into somebody.
His first episode, which was Son of Nurgle, has just one of my favorite jokes. They're on the bus to winter camp.
Oh, God.
And it's like, winter camp. I wonder whose idea that was. And it cuts to Billy's dad and Grim in bathing suits clinking glasses together. And they're like, winter camp.
Did we mention that no one on this show is nice?
Nobody. I mean, sometimes Billy tries to be nice, but he really just isn't capable of it.
Yeah, he thinks he's nice, but he's honestly deep down mostly self-serving like everybody else. He just doesn't know he is, unlike everyone else.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single nice person in this cast so far.
Jeff.
Well, Jeff
Jeff is the one nice character, and you know he is because he's the one that gets shit on the hardest.
Poor Jeff.
Is there any other...
Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman's a somewhat reoccurring villain, voiced by...
Fred Willard.
I know Fred Willard. I love that guy.
Yeah.
His voice is super cool.
He was Grimm's arch enemy in junior high school and his bully.
Mm-hmm.
He used to always prank him and do mean stuff. He
he
once
was the
gave
main...
him a nuclear wedgie from off stage while Grimm was reciting a scene from Hamlet using his head.
But he was the main antagonist of their first TV movie special, the Grimm vs. Billy and Mandy Big Boogie Adventure. He was like the main villain. That's a super solid TV special.
Yeah, and
like
that special, he was upset that he wasn't able to scare modern day kids because of cartoons, video games, and the tuba. Apparently, he blamed.
Oh yeah, well, that was his introductory episode. I just remember my favorite goof from his introductory episode was because he comes to them by speaking through the TV, but he brings the TV to life for a little bit before he pops out of it. So it's just like, Grim, the TV wants to talk to you.
Oh yeah.
And then and then he's just sitting on the couch like, hello, Grim. Hello, TV. He doesn't... It's a super great goof, and then he pops out, and it's Boogie, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's one of those goofs that always stuck with me as a kid. Even shows I don't remember anything from, if they were good, I'll usually remember one specific goof that'll stick with me for literally a decade.
Oh, now I remember this guy. I'm looking at him. He's got a troll face.
Yeah, and a fez.
And
then it's oh yeah, another good goof. Well, not so much of a good goof, but just a memorable goof from that specific episode was when it's another moment of Billy being way too fucking stupid, so it would probably annoy Nina. But it's he sends him to the land of absolute terror or whatever. For most of the episode, it's I love this terror. I wonder what terror is, and then that's the goof. I remembered the other nice character that gets shit on all the time. That isn't as memorable as Jeff the Spider, but their classmate Puddin', P-U-D'-N, voiced by Jane Carr. He was continually shit on anytime something scary would happen. Because the most memorable I can think of is when he got his own mini segment in the episode about the wishing skull. Everybody it was 9 segments because they got 9 wishes, and so Puddin' was one of them, and he wanted a bunny friend. But it's like a genie wish, so the bunny was super demonic and evil, and chased him a la the Terminator coming out of a burning fire explosion as a horrifying skeleton. Yeah, it was great.
I'm looking at some more characters. Of course, Fred Burger, some kind of weird fan favorite, who for a while I thought was from Foster's Home, but he's not.
No, that was Cheese.
Yeah, no.
Because Foster's Home already had Cheese, and they don't need both.
Nope.
Not at all. Fred Burger was created and voiced by C.H. Greenblatt, who then went on to make Chowder. So I think Fred Burger was almost his claim to fame. It's what made him stand out among the other people who worked on the show. It's oh yeah, I made Fred Burger, and everybody loved him because catchphrase spouting dummy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, he premiered in Keeper of the Reaper, an episode that had nothing to do with him, but he didn't have a plot B. He was plot B. Just the episode starts with him getting ready in the morning, which from a writing standpoint is a bad thing to do, but whatever. But yeah, then the plot is instigated by him getting a letter after his morning routine and seeing that he's been summoned for jury duty, and then he shows up, and then the actual episode starts.
Oh. Who is this adorable dog that I'm seeing? Did Billy have a dog? Somebody have...
Oh yeah, Billy had a dog and a... Oh, no, Mandy had a dog.
Saliva.
Named Saliva.
Oh my god, Saliva is so cute.
Billy had a cat named Milkshakes.
What's interesting about C.H. Greenblatt is that if you go to his page on Wikipedia, it's a picture of Tara Strong with C.H. Greenblatt in the background.
That's perfect. I'm sure he's fine with that.
We've also got the Harry Potter characters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nigel Planter.
And then Dean Toadblatt and Lord Moldybutt.
That's how you know we were in the aughties. Everyone had to do a Harry Potter spoof.
The other Harry Potter spoof character that isn't in this list, and possibly the best character that isn't in this list, the Squid Hat.
Oh yeah.
Voiced by Weird Al Yankovic.
I remember the Squid Hat.
He was voiced by Weird Al. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Put on your squid hat. Yeah, that whole bit.
The thing about Lord Moldybutt is that, like, okay, when they brought back all that in the late 90s or early 2000s, whenever that was, with, like, the cast that was almost all white, as opposed to the original one, they did a Harry Potter spoof, series of spoofs, and in that one, he was Lord Moldy Shorts, which, like, scans better. And I wonder if this was almost just, like, they started doing that and then just quit, and just went Moldy Butt.
Maybe.
And he's also a play on the whole, like, thing in Harry Potter where everybody's always fucking scared of saying his stupid name. Yeah. Whereas this time, whenever you say his name,
something breaks. Yep. I remember the sound cue, too. It always had the same sound cue. But yeah, those episodes... those episodes aren't even necessarily my favorite episodes. I just like that they exist.
Yeah,
I guess
because they got dumber and dumber and less connected to the Harry Potter universe with each one until like one of the later episodes. It was just a beach episode, but the goof was Nigel had aged significantly, a la the Harry Potter movies, and so he was like super tall and gangly, and he was super confused why Billy and Mandy were still 10, and they just left it. They didn't acknowledge it at all after the goof.
Oh, Hector Concarne was Phil Lamar. I gotta watch that again.
Oh yeah, no, totally. The Evil Concarne is great. I mean, if we want to revisit Grim Adventures, we could always just watch the 2 seasons of Evil Concarne.
I think that'd be a good thing to do, or even on its own.
Yeah,
we'll go back to that. What else about this show? Because I feel like
the Halloween special.
Oh yeah, it has a really nice Halloween special. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got your comedy, it's got your action, it's got your spoops, and it's got Wayne Knight.
Did have Wayne Knight.
Wayne Knight was Jack.
I thought he was really funny, and
he kept making atrocious puns.
Yeah. Like, that episode has one of my favorite lines from when I was, like, I don't know how old, but when I was young and, you know, silly words would make me laugh.
You were, like, 8.
It was from the special. Yeah, I was, like, 8. So, like, the whole point of that episode is that he wants to get a head. He wants to steal Grimm's scythe so he can get his head back. Because he has a pumpkin head.
Well, no, he just wants to. I think it's not even that because he can't get his head, but he just wants to cut off Grimm's head as revenge.
Oh yeah.
Because anyone's head cut off by the scythe can't be reattached otherwise. Because Grimm takes off his head all the time. That's the goof. But but the scythe permanently removes heads.
Yeah, because Grimm had cut off his head because he was an asshole in ye olden medieval Renaissance fair.
Yeah. They ran him out of town. They stabbed him in the back, but he didn't give a shit, so he just like goes back into town even though he's supposed to be dead, but then Grimm heads him off like, actually, you're dead.
Yeah. So he's like complaining about, you know, why he needs this head, and I think like Billy or somebody asks him why he needs a head because he's Billy or whatever, and he's like, do you know how hard it is having a head like this? I can't even go to the ding-dong grocery store to buy pudding!
Yeah, that's a super great one. I love it. It's a damn because he never ever showed up again, and that was always like on a show where they usually brought back villains that were probably supposed to only show up once. They never brought back Jack, and it's like sure they could. I think
it's probably a matter of booking Wayne Knight.
He was in the video game though. I think
he was in the game. He had such a strong presence. Like I remember there was the online game on CartoonNetwork.com that was like a big deal for me, that I played a lot, and it was like, I don't know, like, it was really
I'm sorry,
striking.
your pause was perfect. It was just like, it was a big deal for me.
And, you know, it was Halloween episode, so it aired every year, so he always just kind of felt like he was there and important, and it was just such a fun episode. Like, it was just very memorable, and, like, Mandy's costume, where, you know, she's just, like, wearing a suit and these giant claws, and they're like, what are you supposed to be? A lawyer. And it's like, what are the claws for?
Yeah.
For ripping out human souls.
Yeah, no, and then, because then, like, the reoccurring goof was that, Erwin kept putting on super duper adorable Halloween costumes to try and, like, win over Mandy's favor. That's the other thing you guys forgot to mention talking about Erwin. His whole thing was, like, he was super in love with Mandy, and it had that whole, like, nice guy thing. But anyway, like, yeah, he kept putting on, like, super adorable costumes, like, like, Little Bo Peep sheep, and he was a super adorable turtle, and then, like, yeah, it was
And they run into Jack
ridiculous.
because they're like, the scariest houses have the biggest candy bars, and, like, the whole neighborhood had, like, shitty decorations that didn't faze Mandy because she's Mandy, and then they saw Jack's house, and they're like, that's a good house. And then I guess they did something, and he was like, I'm gonna take the scythe.
Oh yeah, oh no, because Billy's costume was the Grim Reaper, and he borrowed Grim's scythe so he could have an authentic costume. I feel you on that, Billy. Then and then he like insults Billy's Grim Reaper costume. It's like you do not scare me with your dumb get up and that phony scythe. And he's like, this is the real Grim Reaper scythe. And for some reason Jack believes him. Oh no, because it says property of the Grim Reaper on it. That's why. He believes him.
And the kids would eventually just take Grim's scythe and use it to, like, open portals and shit. Like, they eventually learned how to use
because,
it.
like...
Or at least Mandy did.
Yeah, and... Yeah, but then also, like, the show's thing used to be, like, Grim would have to deal with, like, kid problem shit plot lines, but the supernatural stuff would be the shenanigans, but eventually the show evolved so much that, like, a plot could be instigated by something as simple as, like, hey, Grim, like, we want to know where our shadows come from, so he brings them to this parallel shadow dimension, and everything's weird. He's, like, it could be instigated by anything. It's like, hey, oh no, like, this random supernatural character has shown up, like, I guess Eris or Haas or something.
What was the episode with Mandy when we meet, like, that sweet Mandy? And then...
That was Shadow Mandy.
Yeah, because I remember that one, because regular Mandy just, like, destroyed her by talking about the poor conditions in toy manufacturing with, like, sweatshops.
Yeah, I hate my job.
It was just, like, overworked, underpaid, sweaty sweatshop laborers.
In Detroit.
Yeah. And just, like, ripping out all the unicorn's horns. That really struck me as a kid, because I was like, I didn't know that was where my toys came from.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Nina.
It's okay. It's true.
Yeah, and then, like, because the goof was, like, then they couldn't... Grim couldn't tell them apart, and then Billy... There was this weird other dimensional door that Billy broke and unleashed every single infinite alternate Billy from every alternate universe, and it was just a giant fucking thing where, like, the universe collapsed in on itself, apparently. But, you know, it's a 2000s cartoon, so, you know, the status quo was back the next episode and nobody questioned anything.
Yeah.
There's something I wanted to... And then, didn't Maxwell Adams get kind of fucked out of this show?
It was... I think it was more like I think he was more fucked out of Underfist than this show.
Yeah.
I used to know the exact story, but, like, Underfist was supposed to be, like, a series... Like, after Billy and Mandy had ended... He wanted to make Underfist, which was like a series of movies taking place in the same thing. Or it was supposed to be a show, but then it didn't get picked up, but they gave him a TV special, and he was hoping that if it got big enough, they would give him more, but that didn't happen, which is why in the credits of the Underfist special, there's a whole bunch of, like legitimate concepts he came up with, like fake title cards for their further adventures that might have possibly been. I'm sure that eventually he would have retooled some of them to be not that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, I remember it was mostly, like, reusing footage from the special, but I think there was some stuff in there that was not in the special. I don't know. But yeah, Underfist is effectively the finale of Billy and Mandy, and it features Erwin, Hoss Delgado, Scar,
Jeff the Spider,
and Fred Fredberger making a superhero team, and Irwin's powers as a half mummy, half vampire, fully awakening. And it's another Halloween special. In this one, Billy dresses up as a witch, and Mandy dresses up as a member of the Spanish Inquisition because they burn witches. And it starts off with him like trick-or-treating at Dracula's door, and like Irwin's dressed up as Dracula, and Dracula's like, I haven't worn that stupid stand-up collar since 1982.
Yeah, because Nina doesn't remember him, Dracula's goof is he's Fred Sanford from Sanford and Son. He's the old man from Sanford and Son. Like he calls Grim Big Dummy. Yeah, that's his whole thing.
Or Skeleton Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Skeleton Man.
And as far as recognition, the show is actually nominated for a lot of awards, and it actually won 3. It won an Annie Award in 2005 for directing in an animated television production, and it went to Sean Cashman and Phil Cummings for the episode Attack of the Clowns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the one with the Destroy Us All bit, and also the bit with the Tangelos.
Clowns hate Tangelos.
Which, years later, Nina and I discovered are real.
Yeah. I thought it was like, those are clementines. Like, what are you talking about? It also won an award. It won an Emmy in 2006 and 2007 for Outstanding Individual Achievement in Animation. For 2006, it went to Michael Diedrich, and in 2007, it went to Phil Rinda for Billy and Mandy's Big Boogie Adventure.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a big deal. Also, fun, cool facts. 2 of the songs for the show were written by musical sensation Voltaire. I don't know if he's a sensation.
Voltaire's more underground as a musician. He's best known for writing like, horror-y, gothy stuff. Although he did come out with a Star Trek themed album. One of my favorite songs being called "The SS Make Shit Up."
Yeah,
and it's a song about technobabble.
He did the song "Brains" from the episode "Little Rock of Horror," which was like an entire musical number where this giant alien brain monster thing comes down and asks Billy to get brains for him to eat because Billy doesn't have a brain. And I remember that one being really fun because it was so different.
Yeah.
Because it was all spooky.
Oh yeah, that's one of my faves. And then they brought him back to write the theme song to write Land of the Dead, the theme song for the Big Boogie Adventure.
Yeah.
And it's super good too.
Both of those songs can be found on the album Spooky Songs for Creepy Kids.
Yeah, the rest of his song... he made that album because he got popular from Billy and Mandy, but the rest of his songs are not for kids. So he made that album to be like, here's all the shit you can listen to.
Yeah, it was, no, it's a compilation of him redoing the songs to be G-rated.
Yeah. And then...
They were from original albums of his, and then he redid them. Yeah, Wiki calls him a dark cabaret artist.
But that just sounds like something I don't want to admit is a thing.
Yeah, I guess that kind of is what he has his own style. Like, I had a friend in high school who had his album, and she'd always drive me home from school, so, like, we'd listen to it sometimes, and it's like, yeah, he kind of had this thing going on. It's kind of hard to describe.
He seems like he seems like a cool dude, though, from the little I've seen of him, from I know him from Billy and Mandy.
Yeah. Apparently Amanda Palmer's band Dresden Dolls is also dark cabaret.
Oh yeah, totally. Also,
but
season 2 episode Battle of the Bands featured the song Darkness by metal band SBF 1000.
Oh yeah, I remember that song. That was weird.
Yep.
And then because that was almost a Billy's Dad episode, because his whole thing was like he tried to teach Billy how to rock, and so he put on like this big ridiculous Kiss get up and like stormed the stage by flying onto it with bat wings, but then he realized
I remember the Kiss get up.
Yep.
Holy crap.
But then the whole thing was like, but we don't know how to play any instruments, and he was basically like, that has nothing to do with being a successful rock musician, Billy, or something like that.
Yep.
It's like Strong Bad, being an awesome wrestler has nothing to do with awesome wrestling moves.
That's true. It's very true.
Nope.
But going back to Voltaire for a second, Voltaire's also going to be in. Actually, Voltaire and most of the main cast of Billy and Mandy is also going to be on Maxwell Adams' upcoming project, his independently crowdsourced funded puppet project, Dead Meat. Because he kickstarted this like a year ago, and he just had this idea because he was super jaded after a bad experience working on a show that will not be named Fish Hooks for a company that will not be named Disney. And
the only thing that Fish Hooks gave us was, I'm blanking on his name. Fuck. Morty, Rick, that guy, Justin.
Oh
Roiland.
yeah, but yeah, him.
That's.
Watch our Rick and Morty episode to find out who we're talking about. So anyway, So and oddly enough, he always had a super duper love for like puppets and the models and stuff like that. So he's doing like a puppet show, and it's almost.
What kind of puppets?
You probably don't remember the goof where Billy and Mandy, like there was a goof where Hoss Delgado pissed off Aaron too bad, and she sent him to the puppet dimension.
Eris?
Yeah.
Okay. You said Aaron.
And so like Hoss was, it's like they're Muppets basically.
Okay, so it's like hand puppets, marionettes, like.
Yeah, it's like one of those things.
All right.
And it's like post-apocalyptic, like mutant zombie hunters. There's all like and like there's like super rad like Mad Max style model cars he's making and building and using. And it looks like it's gonna be super duper freaking rad.
I'm looking at this Kickstarter, and this guy made tarot cards based off of Billy and Mandy. These are great.
Did he?
Yes. One of the rewards is tarot cards. I'm looking at them.
Well, I remember there was a.
And like Billy's the Fool, Scar is the Hermit.
Let me see that.
Grim is Death in this insane getup, stomping.
Yeah, I think
he's wearing. He's like riding this dragon, and the dragon is stepping on pudding.
Yeah, because like some of his Kickstarter awards were like test merch that never took off. Because like one of the merch that I got, and I made sure to jump on it super quick, was like these like he only got like a dozen sets of them, and he just owns them because they gave them to him. Or these like 3 Billy, Mandy, and Grimm face pillows, and they're super good.
I see these.
But
Oh yeah.
yeah, but they're at Martin's. Like we sort of pooled our resources for one contribution, and we split the rewards and stuff. So he's got those.
That's a cool idea because there's a Tumblr post going on where there was some promotional thing of tarot cards from all the cartoons. I think we posted it on our Tumblr page actually, and it had a bunch of Billy and Mandy stuff there. So I thought it might have been the same thing, but no, these are totally different designs.
Yeah, but like Maxwell Adams, like he's not on the internet a lot, but he does have a Tumblr, and his Tumblr right now is mostly for promoting Dead Meat, but he does occasionally answer other non-Dead Meat related questions and stuff. So yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah, Maxwell Adams, all one word.tumblr.com.
And before Fish Hooks, he also worked as a storyboard artist on Chowder. And before Grim and Evil, he worked as a storyboard artist on Cow and Chicken and I Am Weasel.
Which
are also really gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Cow and Chicken was even too bizarre for a 7-year-old. I was like, how do they think they're brother and sister? Like,
Cow and Chicken was another show that I liked less and less as time went on.
And the devil with his butt.
I still like the devil.
There were so many butts.
But they weren't allowed to call him the devil after the pilot. He was the red guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody, all 3 of them were voiced by Charlie Adler.
Mm-hmm.
It's like real. Anyway, I think that's it for Billy and Mandy for right now. We've been going for a while. We're gonna do a few recaps. I mean, obviously, we recommend this show. It's Billy and Mandy. We don't have to. You don't need us to tell you.
Pinocchio,
that.
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio.
Also, Chupacabra.
Chupacabra.
That's my favorite goof. Actually, is they couldn't say Chupacabra, so he's just a Chupacabra.
Yeah. Oh, and also a Fluffy Cat, the Hello Kitty Mickey Mouse mascot character, like Billy loved. Like her theme song is. Oh wait, no, Sassy Cat. Fluffy Cat was their mascot for their football team for some stupid reason. But anyway, Sassy Cat. It's like sassy cat, full of sass. If you don't like it, you can kiss her butt.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And on that note.